Alright, so if you've been watching me for a while, I'm talking like back in high school, I just graduated college, you would know that one of the first videos I've ever posted here on the channel, as a matter of fact, the second video I've ever posted on this channel was a story time about a cruise ship that I went on. The Symphony of the Seas, okay? And at the time, it was the largest cruise ship on the planet, and you know, I did a whole bunch of shit on that cruise ship when I was 16 years old, and I thought it was the craziest story ever, and I wanted to make a video on it, and that inspired me to literally make this YouTube channel right here. So, you know, if I didn't go on that cruise back in like 2020, 2019, Madagascar wouldn't even exist. That's a bit of an over-exaggeration, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. Basically, what I'm saying is that cruise ships, I guess they have a special place in my heart, sort of, I don't know. But either way, the reason I'm telling you guys all of this is because as of recently, there's been like a lot of headlines in the news about cruise ships, and the stuff I'm reading is absolutely wild. It doesn't sound like anything I remember when I went on a cruise myself. Like, dude, when I think of cruise ships, I think of like Disney. I think of the unlimited food. I think of the fucking teen club, alright? But recently, I found out that there's actually a cruise ship out there that dropped a surprise mixtape on us and released a new fucking virus, the Hantavirus, which basically is a virus that usually spreads through rat shit. And, usually it's not contagious, alright? But for some reason on this cruise ship, they have a new strain of it that actually can spread from person to person, which is just bizarre because not only is it really rare and there's no cure for it, they're on a fucking cruise ship, bro. They're all compact in a goddamn boat. And the main reason why everyone's freaking out about this is because the Hantavirus, that doesn't have a cure, and that shit also kills people. And they're letting people off of this boat. Now, to be fair, apparently the people who left the Hanta Virus Cruise left before they even knew what was going on. And on top of that, the people who are still, like, on the boat are being evacuated and, like, you know, quarantined and shit. But at the same time, dude, I'm sitting here thinking, like, did we not learn from COVID? Like, what? Really? Like, I'm aware that the Hanta Virus isn't nearly as contagious as COVID. But like I said before, that shit fucking kills people. And if you really think about it, this Hantavirus Cruise is low-key like a real-life version of the ethical train problem, you know? This one right here, you know, like the problem with the 5 people on the train tracks and the train's gonna come and run them over, and you can either do nothing and not be at fault and let them die, or, you know, you could pull the lever and have the train switch and only kill one person, saving the other 5 people, but then again, your actions directly cause the death of another person even though you saved one more person. It's basically the cruise ship in real life. You can either contain the people on the cruise ship, mitigate the spread of the virus, and, you know, hopefully they just thug it out, hope they survive, or you can free them into society and possibly start another fucking global pandemic. Now, okay, I do want to clarify that I'm not a liar, okay? If I was on the Hantavirus Cruise, I would want to be let off, okay? I think we can all agree on that. But now, with that being said, as someone who is not on the cruise, do not let those motherfuckers off the boat, okay? I repeat, do not let them off the boat. I don't care if it's less contagious. I don't care if it's super rare. I did my research on the Hantavirus, and it is fucked, okay? It is worse than COVID. This is like if Bonnie Blue's vagina was a ship. And, you know, maybe if there was a cure for it, yeah. But there's not, okay? There's no cure, and it fucking kills you, like I just said. Remember, this is a virus that spreads through rat shit, okay? I don't know how the fuck, you know, they got the rare fucking special release strain that can spread through humans, but they did. And, you know, that's just not something I feel like we should let people leave the contained goddamn boat in the middle of the ocean, you know? I feel like that's honestly the perfect scenario to contain a goddamn virus, you feel me? But nah, they are definitely still letting people off the boat, and according to the CDC, the chances of an outbreak of the Hantavirus is extremely fucking low. But it's like, why are we taking that chance, motherfucker? I bet the COVID chances were pretty low too, huh? We thought COVID was about to be 2 weeks off of school. We thought spring break was gonna be a little bit longer. No, motherfucker, we got locked in for fucking years. Talking about, oh, I don't want to take that chance, bro. Don't let them off the boat. Oh my god. And you know, it's like, I want to say, if I want to be like, I want to end off this segment and be like, yeah, I don't think anything's gonna happen from this. But I can't, it's like you never know. It's like I couldn't make this video, and then it's like fucking 4 months later, new goddamn pandemic, new lockdown. You know what I mean? Either way. But, yeah, that's the Hantavirus Cruise. And, you know, since we're on the topic of people getting sick from cruises, let's talk about this other cruise, the Norovirus Cruise, which is like a slightly less severe and kind of funnier version of the Hantavirus Cruise, which is basically just a stomach virus, which is extremely contagious. Now, the reason why I say this is a lot less serious than the Hantavirus is because it's kind of like COVID. You might get it, and you might be really sick, and it might be shit, but, you know, you're not gonna die. It's not gonna kill you unless you're like 70 years old. And the reason I say it's funnier than the Hantavirus is because the symptoms are fucking gross, okay? You get nauseous, you vomit, and you get diarrhea. And I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like probably the worst and grossest symptoms to have when you are stuck on a boat with hundreds of people in the middle of the ocean. And on top of that, over 100 people on the cruise have already caught the sickness. And get this right, when they found out the virus made an outbreak, they didn't cancel the cruise, they just kept it going.
We talked with one cruiser from Marion County who says despite the sick passengers, the cruise is going on as normal.
So after reading all of this, I am convinced that this has to have been like the grossest cruise ever. Think about it, bro. All of these people were stuck on a boat in the middle of the ocean with a fucking mystery virus going around infecting people, making them vomit and diarrhea constantly. And listen, okay, I'm not an idiot. I'm well aware that the people who are sick are probably staying in their rooms and quarantining, but not everyone knows they have the virus. Think about it. There had to have been at least one person who just threw up on the fucking boat because they didn't know they had it and the fucking symptoms caught up and they had to throw up and they were nauseous, you know? As a matter of fact, according to someone who was on the cruise, even after they found out about the outbreak, the atmosphere was still there. You know, they were still drinking and shit. So it's like, that shit definitely happened. Someone definitely threw up or vomited or diarrheaed somewhere on the cruise ship. Like, you know that one Family Guy episode where they eat like Lewis's carrot cake or some shit and they all just start throwing up out of nowhere? That's how I imagine the cruise was.
Okay, here we go. How's everybody doing?
Good so far.
All right.
Nothing yet.
Cool. You know, I don't know if you guys had any of that pie already. That is some tasty stuff. That's from the bake sale that Lois was...
Oh, one down. I know somebody who won't be having any...
I'm starting to feel funny.
Well, I feel fine. I guess I'm gonna...
Oh boy! That means I win! I get to eat...
Oh, God! Why didn't anybody tell me?
Oh my God, my insides are on fire!
No, please! No more!
Dad, I'm scared.
Get the phone! Call 911!
Lois, get in here!
Okay. I think it's all gone. I think it's... I don't want to... Peter, I need you to hold my ears.
Who wants chowder?
Okay, alright, maybe that was a bit of an over-exaggeration, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. Someone was drunk and threw up on the deck of the ship. That happened at least once on that, and that is fucking hilarious to me. Now, I do want to clarify, there's nothing funny about sicknesses and viruses outbreaking on cruise ships and people ruining their vacation. But when people aren't dying, when people, you know, everyone's safe and everyone's just, you know, shitting a little bit and throwing up and stuff, it's kind of funny, you know, we can laugh at it, alright? People are having a good time. That motherfucker said it himself. Now, I know that I said that the Norovirus Cruise was probably, like, the grossest cruise ever because, you know, people were shitting and throwing up and stuff, but I actually take that back because this next cruise we're talking about probably takes the case for the grossest cruise ever, and you'll understand why very soon. Recently, a Disney cruise ship got canceled because over 27 different employees were caught with fucking CP. Yeah, you heard that right, CP on a Disney cruise. You know, like the one made for fucking children.
For you now on a story we told you about earlier this week about several cruise ship employees who were detained at the Embarcadero 2 weeks ago. Customs and Border Protection now says it was part of an ongoing child pornography operation. CBP says it interviewed 28 crew members from several ships. It found 27 of them were involved in some type of child porn activity. CBP canceled their visas and returned them to their countries.
And yeah, I mean, shit, that's pretty much the story. They got caught viewing, possessing, and having CP on their devices, and they all got fucking deported and their visas revoked. Now, I think the grossest part about this story is the fact that this took place on a Disney cruise ship. So either this was a fat coincidence and these fucking freak-ass employees just happened to get put on the ship, or they were like, purposely trying to get on the Disney cruise ship because they know there'd be a lot of fucking children on it, which is even grosser. And listen, okay, the police confirmed that, you know, they all had CP on their phones or whatever, but they didn't confirm anything else in terms of, like, what they were doing on the ship, which, I mean, I hope they weren't doing anything, but dude, cruise ships are fucking big. Cruise ships are really large, you know? There's a lot of places where kids can go missing. And they can get abused and shit and filmed. And, you know, there's a bunch of rumors on the internet about them targeting kids and stuff too. None of it's confirmed, but it's like, and you know, again, they're all internet rumors. You can't really believe anything you hear online, but it's like, dude, that's not a crazy fucking possibility, bro. Especially with the crimes they're being charged with and the fact that they're on a Disney cruise, bro. And you know, there are so many questions I have to ask that I know will never get answered. Like, how did they know? How did they find out? Did someone like catch them? Did someone snitch? Did one of the cruise attendees see something on someone's phone and report him? I don't know. But you know, but the main question I have is why? Why would you do that? You know, like maybe they were on the cruise Wi-Fi and they were watching like their CSAM content, and that's how they got caught. But it's just like, why? Why would you couldn't just be a normal freak? You had to do it on a fucking luxury boat in the middle of the ocean? Like, I feel like that's like the least smart thing to do logically, you know? Like, if I was a fucking criminal who wanted to do like my freak criminal activities, I'd do it like in a low-key room, like underground or something, I think, right? Not in the middle of the sea on the fucking SSP Diddy, you know what I'm saying? By the way, if any freaks are watching this video, don't take my advice, okay? Don't, that was not for you. Also, get the fuck off my channel. But, yeah, when it comes to the Disney CP cruise, I guess, the fucking freak cruise, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. There's not that much shit out, you know, publicly, but I still think that's just wild, bro. On a fucking cruise, bro? Seriously? Alright, so, quick little recap. Basically, the entire, like, cruise line industry, for some reason, is in complete fucking shambles. First, you got the Hantavirus Cruise, a deadly virus that comes from fucking rat shit, and, you know, for some reason, this boat in particular just, you know, released a new strain of it, unreleased, and now it's fucking contagious. Now people can spread it from human to human contact. And, you know, the virus can literally fucking kill you, so you have this deadly virus quarantined on this luxury boat in the middle of the ocean, basically turning it into, you know, like the ethical train question of pulling the lever. But I guess the CDC decided not to pull the lever and are letting them evacuate the ship. And according to them, the rates of a hantavirus outbreak is very low. But it's like, dude, we thought COVID wasn't gonna happen, and you know, like I said, spring break extended. Nope. Lockdown for 2 fucking years. Then you got the Norovirus Cruise, which in comparison to the Hantavirus Cruise is just really fucking funny because it's literally just like the flu, but you vomit and diarrhea all the time. So it's just like, you know, a cruise ship with a bunch of people vomiting and diarrheaing all the time. And you know, apparently, according to a guy on the cruise ship, the atmosphere didn't go away. People are still partying and shit. So it's like, that has to be the grossest fucking cruise ever. Someone definitely threw up on the top deck at least once, right? And then last but not least, you got the fucking Disney Freak Cruise, where 27 employees on a fucking Disney Cruise Line ship got caught with CP on their phone. On a Disney cruise ship line, like the one that's made for fucking kids. And it's just like, why? What are you doing? Why? You couldn't just be a normal freak? You had to do it on a goddamn boat in the middle of the ocean? Like what? And then on top of that, all of them were from the Philippines. Every single one was from the Philippines. What's with the Philippines and like CSAM content? I swear to God, I always hear about shit with the Philippines. Like seriously, my ex-girlfriend was also Filipino, and she cheated on me with 4 different dudes. I guess that country is just fucking cursed. But regardless, that's gonna be the video, guys. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I educated at least one of you. If you liked the video, subscribe. If you didn't, fuck you. What are you doing watching this far into the video anyway? And yeah. That's gonna be it, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. Moral of the video, don't date a Filipino girl. I don't know. yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. Appreciate you watching it. I already said all this bullshit. If you made it this far into the video, comment. I can't read this shit, but if you guys know what Pokemon this is, comment what Pokemon it is. I'll like your comment. But yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. Peace out. Love you all. Bye.
I have to talk over this because it's copyrighted now. Too shiesty, that's my dog. You know I'm really shiesty.